Happy Thursday. I'm Laura, Broadway Girl NYC, and I am live a few minutes after 6. I always go live a few minutes after 6 as opposed to right at 6 o'clock because at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, Amanda Klutz, the wife of my friend Nick Cordero, Broadway star, goes live with a song and dance, his song Live Your Life, as a sort of group prayer for Nick to get better. So every day at 6 p.m., I am watching Amanda Klutz and her baby Elvis as they sing and dance and spread joy and hope to Nick and his friends and family. And thousands of people are now joining in, and I highly recommend setting an alarm for like 5:59, or if you're on the West Coast, 2:59, so you can be a part of that movement. It's really, really gorgeous. It makes me kind of weep every time, but the singing and the dancing makes me feel hopeful. I also want to say at the very beginning today that we have been very consumed with this coronavirus. Obviously, everyone in the world has had their life changed by it. We are mourning the pause that's put on Broadway. You may have seen the hashtag, it's only intermission, because of course Broadway will be back. We don't know when and we don't know how, but we know that that will happen. And it's really easy to pretend that that is the only crisis going on in the world. But as you may also have seen today, there was a video that has made the rounds of a man named Ahmaud Arbery, a black man who was out for a jog in his own neighborhood and was literally hunted down by two white men with guns and brutally murdered, and will now never have the chance to live his life and to grow old and to do a lot of the things that we all take for granted, or at least that I take for granted. We are all super hyper focused on the pandemic of the coronavirus, but there is a pandemic in our country that has been going on for hundreds of years and is actually at the core of how America was built and made, and that is racism. We must take a stand, use our voices, use any tools at our disposal, and speak up and make sure that justice is served, and that we don't get too lost in the crises that are touching our own lives to forget about the crises that have been going on for hundreds of years. It's for me, and I think for people who look like me, it's easy to throw out a hashtag when something happens in the news and to be like, Black Lives Matter, I'm on board. And then the news cycle changes and we move on. But the fact is that those people stay dead and they aren't coming back, and their families and friends' lives are changed forever. And it's not just a moment in the news cycle. So it's important, I think, that we take the moment to realize that while the coronavirus may pass in a matter of months, the racism that is inherent in the way our country was built it may take hundreds of years and a lot of very dedicated hard work for us to fix it. Hopefully it won't take hundreds of years, but it definitely won't get fixed if we aren't all really vocal and really strong advocates for justice. Because the fact is that, at least as of a couple of hours ago when I last checked, the men who hunted down Ahmaud Arbery have not been taken into custody. They have not been deemed to have done anything wrong. And the fact is that an innocent man lost his life for doing something as simple as exercising in his own neighborhood. So that's what I've been thinking about today. And I hope that you have too. It may seem like a departure from my usual joyful, sunshiny broadcast, and that is intentional because while I still am devoted to spreading joy and being enthusiastic and loving and smiling and encouraging positivity, when there is true change that has to happen, anyone with a public platform needs to use it to encourage the people that pay attention to them to dig down deep into their hearts and souls to make real change. So today's broadcast, today's support group is dedicated to Ahmaud Arbery and to all of the Black people who have been systematically oppressed and ritualistically murdered over the history of our country. The fact that there is video of one man or 10 people or, the handfuls of Black men that we've seen on videos being killed, Black men and women, I should say, because of course Sandra Bland, and other women have been victims of this kind of crime as well. Those videos make it more real, but the fact is that there are thousands of people who did not have video taken, and their lives deserve to be honored as well. So, how are you guys doing today? How are you feeling? How are you coping? I know that, I talk a lot about the Broadway Shutdown. This is in fact called the Broadway Shutdown Support Group. And I started doing a daily broadcast because I wanted the Broadway community to have a place to gather. And today I'm feeling like how lucky we are to have the fact that the thing we are mourning is like an entertainment and professional, part of our lives. Look, for those people who have lost jobs, myself included, it's not nothing. But we're still alive, and we are, and our entertainment and our livelihoods will likely come back. I've been thinking a lot today about how the struggle for me, at least, is the fact that I have to sit at home and watch Netflix, and that I have to sell the duplicate playbills that I've collected over the years. But that's like paradise. That's amazing that I get to do that. And there are such bigger problems in the world that even when I see them on video, don't really touch my life in any truly affecting way. It's very far away just by nature of the parents that I was born to. And so today I'm focusing my support on the people and the communities that have so much more going on than the fact that Broadway is shut down. That's not to say that everyone's struggles aren't real. And, the people who count on the theater for either their livelihood or for the light and life that makes their lives worth living as an entertainment / therapeutic tool, don't have the right to also be in mourning. We are all grieving as a country. But it felt important to me to acknowledge that the grief for a lot of us who are mourning Broadway being shut down is temporary, whereas the grief that families of people like Ahmaud Arbery will last for the rest of their lives. So, I don't know that I have a lot to contribute beyond that today, but I will say that that my heart feels open, and that I I'm focused on remembering that, well, I should say focused on my own gratitude. And some of that gratitude is being healthy, my family being healthy, having a roof over my head, having enough to eat, having gotten a delivery slot from Amazon Fresh so I can get groceries without leaving my house. Grateful for the fact that Broadway will be coming back, and hopefully my place as a professional in the Broadway community will be coming back. And then I start to think about the fact that, you know, I happened to be born with skin the color that mine is, and to have been, you know, born blonde and blue-eyed has afforded me so much privilege. And I don't know that that's something that I feel comfortable being grateful for, because it doesn't feel like it should be better. But I am really focused on the fact that there are troubles in this world that I will never know, and that I can't ever know. And so today I am just holding space for the people with struggles that I can never conceive of. So if you are one of those people, if you know those people, and maybe especially if you don't know anyone who's struggling against racism, like, let's take a day to put our sadness about Broadway being shut down to the side and think about the problems that have lasted way longer than a few months, that are truly pandemics and have always been. Maybe we can learn something about the attention that we've given to the coronavirus and spread that and be as focused with that same kind of energy on the travesties that have affected people of color in our communities for as long as our country has existed. So, different kind of show today, different kind of Broadway support group today. And I'm going to leave it at that. Know that I love you. Know that I am here for you. I will be here every Monday through Thursday at least on right after 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Amanda Klutz's Instagram. We do a song and dance celebration and prayer for Nick Cordero. And then as soon as she finishes, I come over here. Sometimes I have a guest with me. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm feeling really light and bubbly. Other times I'm feeling really sad. Sometimes I am really tired. Sometimes I am really upbeat. Sometimes I've got a lot of makeup on. Sometimes I'm like today, having just finished a workout. But the fact is that we can all come as we are. We are still a community. And I encourage you to use the comments, to use my DMs, and to connect with each other in order to be constantly reminded that none of us are alone. So I'm sending you my love, and I'm sending you my thoughts, and I hope you're well and safe and strong and happy. And if you're not, that you'll get there really soon. Have a great night.